Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. My name is Talha Parkar and in this video I will be showing you how to create a Gantt chart in Tableau. So let's get started. Let's have a look at the data source first that we'll be working with. So I have some tasks over here, 6 tasks in particular. I have a start date, I have a duration for each of these tasks, I have a status and I have an end date. Now let's go to my sheet. This is a sample data set that I created, and now let's get started on this Gantt chart. So now what I want to do first is I want to drag my start date to the columns. I want to hit the down arrow, go down to my day. That's good. Now I want to bring my tasks to my rows, and here we have all the tasks, and we have the different days as well. So these are the start dates in specific. Now I also want to drag my duration to the size. This looks like a Gantt chart. You could increase or decrease the size. Let's decrease the size for now. And you can also have labels. So now what would you need labels for? So for example, for market research assignment, I want to see the start date as a label and I want to see the end date as a label. So you drag your start date, bring it to labels, you drag your end date, you bring it to labels. But now I just see the year. I want to see the specific date. So what do? You click on the down arrow, you come down here, change this to date. Similarly, you click on the down arrow, come down here and change this to date as well. And you could increase the width of this, Okay. Now this looks good, and if you want to make some change to the color, you could drag the tasks, put it in color, that would do as well. You could hide this card, okay, so you've hidden this card. You could go to the entire view as well, so you have the entire view. Maybe you want to change this. I don't want this to be day of start date, so let's edit that axis and let's just keep it as date. So now that looks good as well. And now I want to add a reference line for today's date. So today is the 12th of August and I want to add a reference line. So how can you do that? You use the today formula. So you press Ctrl Enter and it's applied. You just hit the down arrow, go to day, and now you come back to the axis, click on add a reference line. In the value you select day, today, keep that minimum. You could have none over here as well, or you could have the value. One second. Yeah, you could have the value, so it shows the date over here as you can see, or you could have a computation, but that's not necessary right now. So you could just have a value if you want, and you could increase the thickness of the line, so that's there. You could have a thicker line, you could have a black font for black color for the line, you press OK. So now this looks pretty well. So I have 6 tasks in specific. So I have a business communication project, I have an Excel dashboard submission, I have a financial modeling assignment, an HR case study submission, a market research assignment, and Power BI training. So now all these are done. Now one more thing could be done. Okay, so you could go to tasks and you could go to sort. Why sort? Because you see that these are not sorted. You go to sort, you click on field. You don't want to have it by data source order, you want to have it by a specific field. Once you click on field, you want to click on the start date and then you want to select a minimum, and that way you have a perfect Gantt chart. One small change, if you go back to the data source, you see that we have a status column as well. So what you can do is, if you want to see which particular tasks have been completed and which are in progress and which are yet to be started, you could drag that status and put it in the color mark. So now you could also come down here, click on the arrow and see the filter. So you could just see you could see all of them, or you just want to see the completed tasks, or you want to see the tasks that are in progress, or you want to see the tasks that have not been started. So that's up to you. Now since this is a very small data set that I'm working with, you know, since it's a very small data set, it's pretty easy to, function. So if you have larger data set, it would be easy for you to visualize, which tasks should be your priority. So this is how you create a Gantt chart. Let's go to the entire view, and this is how it looks. It's pretty neat, it's pretty beautiful, it's beautiful present visualization if you want to track, activities, if you're working in a or working on an assignment in your office, if you're a student, if you just want to learn something, this helps you keep track of it. So I hope you learned something new, and you could subscribe to the channel if you like the content on the channel, and stay tuned for more content on Microsoft Power BI, Tableau, Excel and PowerPoint. Thank you. I hope you learned something new.